Let's try this one more time. We are going to look at who the most important players are as the San Francisco 49ers get prepared for a big time playoff run. And some of those players may have just became available. And we'll talk more about that all. We're going to remix this. We're going to run it back. Let's talk about it all right now. You already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's get after it. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. And just like that, we are back in the building. Your boy had a little bit of a short circuiting when the ADHD gets too overwhelmed. It's like, all right, we're just bringing the stream down. We'll reset it and we'll come back. And that's exactly what we're doing. So shout out to all you guys. Appreciate it. If you were on the earlier stream when all the news dropped, and appreciate it if you're back. And if you haven't, we got some news to talk about, and then we will get into our main topic. But the 49ers getting healthy at the right time, and it feels really, really good. Eric Armstead will begin practicing this week. Juwan Jennings has cleared the concussion protocol. On top of that, you have George Odom, who appears to be back on the mend. His window for return from IR has officially been opened, and he is trending towards being available for the playoffs, the divisional round. That means that you're getting an all-pro special teamer and much-needed depth at the safety position out there. So that is good news. Nothing really else in regards to those guys who are all kind of dealing with issues. We did have the new issue pop up with Clelin Ferrell. He is probably going to miss the divisional round. Hopefully nothing more than that. But outside of that particular kind of downer of news, everything else is mostly positive. So I think the 49ers will be able to, I've talked about it. Cleveland has been a phenomenal player for the 49ers this year, really underrated in kind of how he's been able to provide an impact off the edge. However, I do think the 49ers can piece some things together with Randy Gregory. Of course, the 49ers have Chase Young and all those types of things. Probably bring some guys off the practice squad potentially to backfill depth. So we'll see how it works. Hoping it's not going to be too much of an issue, but we do know Cleveland has had an impact this season. So we will see. But again, like I said, getting Juwan Jennings back, huge. I think we really missed Juwan Jennings these last couple weeks. So getting Third and Juwan back will be a big boost to the 49ers offense. But arguably the biggest boost is going to come from Eric Armstead. I mean, we've seen how the 49ers run defense has struggled. Eric Armstead is such a force on the interior of that defensive line. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be ready to go. So I am looking forward to getting the reinforcements back for the San Francisco 49ers. And again, it does sound like Tashawn Gibson and Jair Brown are trending in the right direction. I saw David Lombardi tweet that earlier. That they are trending towards being able to play. So, again, outside of the Cleveland situation, we got great news across the board. So, we're getting guys back. Yes, we lose Cleveland, but we get others back, and that will be a good situation for the San Francisco 49ers as they prepare for the divisional round. As we know, they are on the bye. All right, so we've talked enough about the injury stuff. Again, I'm happy about it. I feel really good about it. So we'll see how it all plays out in the end. CMC is good. He's not going to practice, but it just sounds precautionary. So we'll be all right. will be all right. CMC, ugh, can you imagine a fresh Christian McCaffrey in the playoffs? Unheard of. Like we spent all that time talking about, is Christian McCaffrey getting the ball too much? Is we putting too much wear and tear on Christian McCaffrey? And I know it kind of stacked up on him. He had the mild calf strain situation going on, but to be able to get him 3 weeks to prepare, that's huge. You get a fresh Christian McCaffrey, kind of. I mean, 3 weeks is enough time for the body to regenerate enough to be able to, I would say, feel pretty darn good. So, getting CMC that time, that's going to be huge. Getting these guys back is huge. Health, fresh, all of it. I love it. I'm looking forward to seeing what the boys do. So, but that leads us to our topic. Let's talk about what we're here to discuss for today's main point of emphasis is who is going to be the players that is going to be the most important. So I asked you earlier on the live before we got derailed by all these wonderful updates. I'm going to reset it. So if you were here, feel free to answer again. If you weren't here, what I had asked was, what is the most important side of the football? Is it going to be the defense or the offense? That's where I asked you to drop it in the chat. So, what is going to be the most important side? Offense or defense? I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the chat. But for me, this is the way that I was kind of quantifying it and discussing it. And I'll reset the stage. So, in years past, we have looked at the 49ers defense as being the truck, right? They have been pulling along the trailer, which is the 49ers offense. And it was basically the offense just, not making the critical error at the critical time. And as long as the defense led, I think the 2019 year, we talked about, them going 13-3 all the way to the Super Bowl. That defense was special. That defense was crazy. The defensive line for the 49ers those years were crazy. And remember the 3-5 year in 2021 when it was not looking good. And the 49ers were like in playoff mode starting week 8 of that season. The defense had to pull a lot of weight. And it was kind of the offense. It was obviously complementary football. They needed to help each other. So it wasn't just one-sided, but I would say over these last couple of years, it's been defense that has been pulling the San Francisco 49ers along. I think we have a shift. And I see in the comments a lot of defense makes sense. I have the offense right now as the most important side of the football based on what they've been able to do this season, because I look at this offense as being able to do multiple things. One, they got to score, right? They got to score points. When this offense has scored 30 or plus points, no teams are really challenging them all that much, because one, they're controlling the clock. They're taking care of the football in those games in which they score 30 plus or more. And it makes it much easier for the defense to attack. So for me, the way that I'm quantifying this and the way that I'm thinking about this, when we're going to drill it down into who is the most important player on this Super Bowl run, I think it's going to have to shift to the offense. Now, that's not saying that the defense isn't important. The defense is extremely important. They have to play complementary football. We know that without the defense, the 49ers aren't doing a whole lot of anything. It's a give and take, right? So we're not discrediting at all the defense or their importance to what they need to contribute to these wins. But again, if we have to weight it and we have to pick, I'm saying the offense right now is the most important side of the football because they, as we've seen, have been able to absolutely dictate the outcomes of games. Not that the defense hasn't, but when you look at predominantly over the season, it's been the offense that has really been pulling this team along. And they've been at their best when it's been complementary. Offense goes down, scores. Defense, 3-and-out punts. Offense goes down and scores. Defense, turnover. Offense goes down and score. Boom, game is out of hand, right? That's what we want. So I'm not discrediting the defense at all. And I want to make that abundantly clear because Nick Bosa is going to be very important. Guess what? Eric Armstead, the guy that we just got back, is going to be very important. Chase Young is going to be important. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore. Jair Brown is going to be important. Tashawn Gibson. So the defense, very important. But I do believe that the most important player comes from the offensive side. So that's kind of how I wanted to frame this and kind of start this, is kind of getting through which side. Now, I would be I be a fool? Dude, mine, it's one of those days apparently. My necklace is coming undone. Updates out of galore come out while I'm on live. I have an ADHD stroke on stream. It's been a good day. My necklace came off, so we'll figure that out in a second. But we can't forget about special teams either. We cannot forget about special teams. So Mitch Wishnowsky, Jake Moody, Ray McLeod. Those guys are going to be huge pieces as well. But again, this is why I'm shifting the importance to the offense. Because if the offense is scoring, Jake Moody just needs you to kick field goals. Or excuse me, PATs. If we put Jake Moody in a position to where all he's got to do is kick PATs, I know that will make a lot of you calm your PTSD a little bit. And that's again why I'm putting the emphasis for the offense being the most important position group, not position group, but phase of the game. Whether it's offense, defense, special teams, I want the offense to pull this team along throughout the playoffs. So that's where I'm shifting my gears. But I'll ask you one time, and I'll give you an opportunity to share whether offense or defense or special teams before we drill down into the offense, because that's where I'm headed. So if let's say not, let's do this. We're going to pull the chat. Let's give these guys their credit. Who is going to be the most important non-offensive player? See what we're doing here? Drop it in the chat. Who is going to be the most important non-offensive player? Meaning we're going to get to the offense because to me, that's where the most important player is coming from. But I do want to give the credit to the defense, to the special teams. Who is the most important defender, special team, whoever, non-offensive player? Drop it in the chat. I want to see what you guys are thinking. So right off the bat, Eric Armstead. I wonder if this is supposed to be Mooney Ward, but it turned out Moody Ward, or if it's both Moody and Ward. It's a good question. Or both could be equally important. Moody, Fred, Warner, Armstead. Oh, there it is. Mooney, Ward, Hargrave, Warner, Ward, Greenlaw, Lenore, Warner, and Greenlaw. So the middle linebacker is going to have to step up big. I see a lot of linebacker love. There's some Bosa, Moody. This is 100% true. Everyone's going to have to pull together. The secondary, Eric, Warner, Ward, lockdown wide receiver, Mooney, Nick Bosa, Charvarius Ward and Bosa and Warner. Need Moody to make the field goals. Lenore is the only one I'm worried about. He said, I'll take that back. We really missed Armstead's run stopping capabilities. Yeah. D line, Bosa, Ward. I would say that if I had to pick the most important player on the defensive side, I'm going to say the most important position group is going to be the defensive line. If the defensive line can clog running lanes, can generate pressure, obviously any offense is going to have a really hard time moving the ball. So I'm going to say defensive line as a position group, very important. And I do also agree with this. They are all very equally important, except we are giving ourselves the task of trying to decide who we think in our heads is the most important. But at the end of the day, this is the real answer. They are all equally important. But for the sake of argument, for the sake of conversation, I think when we're trying to drill down, I think the defensive line group is going to be the most important position group throughout the playoffs. Owning the line of scrimmage is going to be the most important aspect of this defense. But beyond that, I kind of see what you guys are saying with the linebackers. I feel like it could be Fred as well. I feel like it could. I feel like it could be Fred, or it could be Jair. And that's a lot of pressure to put on Jair, but for the simple fact of he's the least experienced guy out here on this defense, which by default makes his play the most crucial, the most important, and might honestly have the biggest impact. So there's a lot of elements at play with who specifically is the biggest, most important player on the defensive side. But honestly, if you can get Warner, you get all pro Fred out here flying sideline to sideline, just commanding the defense. And again, you get that defensive line back to owning the line of scrimmage. You allow Fred to be able to shoot gaps, be able to play in coverage, all those different types of things. Let Fred eat. I think he could be that guy. But it could also be Charvarius Ward. It could be a bunch of different guys. So let's switch gears to the offense. Because I do think that the most important player will come from the offensive side of the football based on kind of what we were talking about earlier. So if we had to turn our sights on the offense, who would you guys say would be the most important player? Because again, this is the way that I'm viewing it. I feel the most important player is coming from the offensive side. So based on that concept, who do you guys think is going to be the most important player? Important doesn't necessarily mean best either. Important can be interpreted in a few ways. But I'm interested to see what you guys say here, because there's a lot of players that could slot into this category. So let's see what you guys are cooking. You guys are cooking up Purdy, CMC. Ooh, I see what you're saying here. McKivitz, if he holds stout, there is no doubt. Did you mean to rhyme? Because if you did, bars. Purdy, Purdy, Purdy has to be Purdy. Brock, most important player, hands down, saw last year against the Eagles. CMC sets the tone. Purdy, we found that out last year. Trent, Ayuk, most important player on the offense is Purdy. Purdy, Brock, Trent, battle line without him. Purdy, self-explanatory. If CMC gets the run game going, the play action will be open the up. Coach Vest says, I thought it was CMC until I watched Sam play. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. CMC. Let's see what else. They are going to double CMC, so it needs to be Ayuk. Purdy putting on that dot clinic. Third and Jawan. Okay. Starts with Purdy. It's Purdy. He's unlocked a deep ball, and I think it's the difference in this playoff run. Kyle's a galaxy brain move. Galaxy brain choice. I kind of like it. We are so dependent on Trent. McKivitt's been balling. CMC, Debo, and Ayuk. Brock 30. CMC, Juice. Some fullback love. I like that. If you don't have Mr. Irrelevant, you have nothing. Debo, CMC, Kittle. And again, this is just a fun exercise because they're all important, right? But that's no fun. That's no fun. We gotta whittle it down. We gotta pick and choose. It's not fun saying everyone, but it really is everyone. But if we have to talk about the most important player, in my opinion, you may agree, you may disagree. That's okay. I believe that the most important player on this entire team right now goes by the name Brock Purdy. I just believe that based on the entire body of work that we have gotten this year, everything that we have seen, all the with him in, with him out, with him maybe throwing interceptions, not throwing interceptions. To me, it is without a doubt Brock. And that to me is also kind of comforting because I haven't had, this much confidence in a quarterback in a while. Now, that doesn't mean he might not struggle or he might not go through ups and downs throughout any of these playoff games. It doesn't mean I expect him to be perfect. I expect him to ride with the flow of the momentum of these games, and there's ups, there's downs. But I have a faith in Brock that he can withstand those storms. And I'm going to look back at actually some of the most impactful moments, I think, for Brock is not necessarily the success he's had. We focus on the success, we look at the success, and we judge him based on the success. I think that game against the Browns, that game against Minnesota, the game against the Bengals, and the game against the Ravens are the fuel that will continue to push Brock to other levels. And on top of that, block out the kind of perceived pressure that is going to come along with these playoff games. We've already know that Brock can win playoff games. We don't have to guess at that. We saw what Brock did against the Cowboys. We saw what he did in the wild card round against the Seahawks. We know Brock can win a playoff game. We know he can win two. So when I look at it, I think Brock is the most important player because although CMC is playing at a absolutely unreal level, like CMC is doing things in the league that we haven't seen in a long time. And he's doing it just at a completely unbelievable rate. But when you look at Brock and you think of, all right, well, let me take Brock out of this. Let me put Sam in there. But he has CMC, he has Trent, he has Debo, he has Ayuk, he has Kittle. Do we feel the same? Opposed to potentially keeping Brock in, taking CMC out, but still the rest of the weapons, and you put Elijah Mitchell in and Jordan Mason in, or take Trent out, put Jalen Moore in, same scenario. I think if you did that with like each individual player and you remove one and you see how they operate as a result, Brock is at the center of it all. He is the conductor. He's the maestro. Whatever analogy you want to make. He's calling the shots. He's delivering the shots. He's making sure the ball is getting to the right spot. So I think he's got to be the most important guy, man. He's the guy who's going to keep everyone even, calm, cool, collected, focused on the task at hand. I think Brock for sure has got to be the most important guy. And that's nothing to take. And again, this exercise isn't to take away from anyone because we know every single one of these guys is ultra important to the 49ers' success moving forward. But we have to we already know the quarterback position is arguably the most important position in all of sports. So it already comes preloaded, right? It already comes preloaded because the quarterback touches the ball on every single play. They have to read the defense, get in and out of plays, get in and out of formations, checks at the line, kills at the line. They have to do so much. So they're preloaded with already a certain level of importance that, again, it's hard to match from any other position. But I think because we understand that the way Brock plays, how he plays, I think I saw Justin talk about it in a previous comment where he said that the deep ball is going to unlock this offense. Brock Purdy continuing to challenge downfield is going to push this team to new levels. So I do think that Brock, in the grand scheme of things, has to be the most important. And if we get quality play out of Brock, we already know we're going to get quality play probably out of everyone else on that offensive side. CMC is always on point. How rare do we have to worry about Debo or Ayuk or Kittle? Trent is going to do his job. And if we get locked in Purdy and we get that guy that is just a different breed on game days, completely different person than we see throughout the week. You know, the guy that's just chill dude, vibing. He turns into a menace on game days. We get that guy back. Whoo! Feels good, man. It feels good. And again, I think that Ravens game is going to be a blessing in disguise. I really do. You know, taking an L, making a mistake, doing bad things always feels terrible in real time. I do it all the time. I did it today. I misspelled a word on a post while we were on live, and I started getting cooked in the comments. Rightfully so. But again, that's par for the course. That's par for the course. And you either learn a lesson from it or you take the L. We keep taking lessons. Brock, that game against the Ravens is a huge, huge lesson, in my opinion. And the reason why I feel that way is because he told us. He told us the mentality that he had in that game and how the noise, the MVP talk, all of it got to him at his core, which affected some of the things that he would typically do, I think, is what he was kind of saying. So the way that I'm looking at it, I think that that game against the Ravens is going to harden Brock, is going to just click that focus a few more notches. And I think it's going to turn out to be a blessing in disguise. And on top of that, the Ravens, credit to the Ravens. Credit to the Ravens. They played a hell of a game against us. But I still don't feel that game was representative of who the 49ers are and what they can do. I feel like that was just a weird game. We've talked about it a million times. I think the Ravens think not that no, they know. I've heard Kyle Van Noy. I've heard someone else on the Ravens defense pull the Nick Bosa, right? Oh, we got the blueprint on the 49ers. I don't know about that. I don't know if you got the blueprint. You definitely got the best of us on that day. But I don't think when I went back and I watched that tape, uh, they still moved the ball up and down the field. the 49ers were moving the ball. They just kept getting turnovers. 5 turnovers, 3 before half. That's a tough spot to be in. So, and even so, it was still 16-12 at halftime, 49ers getting the ball with 3 turnovers. So, they got the blueprint. Fine. Say whatever you need to say. You got the dub. We can't take it away from you. You can talk whatever talk you want because you won. That's how it works. You win, you can talk. That's fine. We win, we talk. We get it. Totally understand. But if we're really looking at it, I don't think that Ravens game is representative of who this team is, what Brock is. And I think that that element and kind of, again, trying to psychoanalyze Brock Purdy, which is hard to do from the outside looking in. Anything that I've seen about Brock is he just has that mentality that literally if you could take his mentality and you could put it into every single quarterback, like he almost has the standard for how to process things, not only from an on-field perspective, how you process a loss, how you process mistakes, turnovers, just all of it, how he manages everything. So, and also to the chip that I really do believe is on his shoulder. He doesn't make that known. He's very humble, right? He's very, very humble. But I think deep down, we know he is a stone cold killer as a competitor. And I feel good. I feel good about it. I feel good about it. We all know it's any given Sunday. Anything can happen. But I feel like the way this season has gone, the highs, the lows, they all came at, when you look back at it, not everything is perfect. But I think the imperfections will help this team when it's all said and done. And no more importantly than the quarterback, Brock Purdy. So I'm hyped, man. I am hyped on it. Uh, like I said, I do want to see the Ravens again. The Ravens to me, um, the Ravens to me are a team that I actually want to see. I'm not necessarily like for the reasons that I just spoke of. I think you put those guys. The Niners, the Debo Samuel, the Trent Williams, the Kittles, the Purdys, the Ayuks, the Fred Warners, the Bosas, the Wards, Hargrave. They they like punching you in the face. They don't like getting punched in the face. And you give them an opportunity for some get back. What happened to the Eagles? Just saying. Just saying. Eagles thought they were the big bad wolf coming to blow us down. No. Our team is made up of personalities that I just don't think will allow that to happen again. And that's a really cool thing. That is a really cool thing about the guys that we have on this roster. Now, again, the big point of this whole show is who's the most important. But this team as a unit, everyone together with Kyle Shanahan, Steve Wilkes calling the shots. Man, I like our chances. I like the way everything's played out. Hell, we even lost to the Rams. That might piss them off too. We'll see. But I like my team pissed off. And when we see our boys pissed off, they play with an intensity that is unmatched. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm excited, man. And what's cool about this is we know we're getting healthy. We know we're getting some boys back. We're getting some dogs back, not just some boys. We're getting some dogs. Juwan Jennings is going to be back. Eric Armstead's going to be back. Sounds like George Odom's going to be back. Sounds like everyone else who's been dinged up a little bit is going to be healthy. So this week, we just get to we just kind of vibe. Just kind of vibe. We get to watch the playoff games unfold in front of us, and we get to see who we're going to play. And then just like that, we're in that mode. So I like it. I like where we're at. I like where we're at. I like where we are at. Update on Drake Jackson. I did see an update. I think it was from David Lombardi. According to Kyle Shanahan, he's not healthy enough to come off IR, so he's still dealing with the knee injury. So it doesn't feel like Drake Jackson is probably going to see the field again this year. Again, you never know. If and when he becomes available. But we'll see. We'll see. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back. Definitely for the divisional, and we'll see if there's any other impact moving forward. So doesn't seem like we're going to see Drake Jackson out there, which is unfortunate. But again, 49ers made two big trades, going and get Chase Young, going and getting Randy Gregory. I mean, how important do those moves look right about now? With Drake Jackson on IR, Cleveland Farrell already slated to miss the divisional round. How important right now do those trades look? Man, those trades could be the difference in this season, and that's crazy. So if Randy Gregory come up big, if Chase Young comes up big, huge. Absolutely huge. I did see David Lombardi also said that Jair is one of the guys who's trending towards being available. So Jair is trending towards being available for the divisional. Deshaun Gibson trending towards being available. So it sounds like we're going to be pretty healthy. It sounds like the only guy we're actually missing is Cleveland. Outside of that, all the boys are back. So Big Trent's good. Big Trent is good. Big Trent resting. Oh, no apologies. No apologies at all needed. Get your work done. We just appreciate you joining us. Shout out SDS. Appreciate you guys. Gibson will be back. So Gibson, Jair, Odom. Huge. Huge. We saw what Taylor Hawkins could do. That's kind of a low-key silver lining. Taylor Hawkins coming in playing well in his first career start. Not bad. Jesse says, do you think with the signing of Sebastian Joseph Day, we could put Armstead at the end? You know what? Do you get I don't know. Do you guys remember I was kind of going on and on all off season about like the conspiracy, the tinfoil hat theory? Bro, do you guys remember? My tinfoil hat has gotten destroyed. This thing has seen better days. There's a hole in it. This is the OG tinfoil hat. OG tinfoil hat. My tinfoil hat theory. I was like, oh, Armstead looks lean. Oh, they might be playing him on the outside more. I was like, ooh, are they going to be running him off the edge? Nope. Nope. You remember that? I was like, look at how lean he looks. He's been eating his turkey meat. He's getting ready for the edge days. Maybe they put him on the edge. He can do it. So we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, you got Chase Young, you got Nick Bosa. It's the playoffs. Those guys will play a lot of snaps. Obviously, Randy Gregory. So we'll see. But if they need to, they absolutely can. They absolutely can. So we'll see. But I'm hyped, man. Will Moody kick true? Big games. I feel bad for Moody because he's one of the main talking points right now. Amongst 49ers content creators, fans, media. It's just one of those things, when there's a somewhat of an unknown already, people are already kind of on edge when they're not really sure. But we for sure are going to have to rely on Moody. And My hope is, and again, part of too, like we talked about with like the offense, if the offense is scoring 30 points, I don't think Moody will need to be put in that position, right? So if the offense continues to do what they need to do and they keep moving in the right direction and they keep scoring points, they take that pressure off Moody. I think that would be huge. I really do. I think again, that's why I got the offense led by Brock Purdy most important right now because if they can take that pressure off Moody, that would be absolutely huge. Um and all that stuff. Jordan says, "Hey, I just found your channel from your short, the Cam Newton with Brock Purdy warming up the arm. It looks like you work really hard on this channel and are dedicated to the Niners. Also very close to hitting 1K. Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate it. Shout out to Jordan. I appreciate that, man. I do work very hard on this channel. So I do appreciate that. And thank you for subbing. And thank you to all the SDS for vibing. Because we're about to hit a really fun time. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am. It's hard to be upset as a Niner fan right now. It's hard to be upset. Let him know SDS never sleeps. SDS never sleeps. We're always awake. Except in the morning. I'm not awake in the morning. I am not a morning person. I appreciate that, Charlene. I do. I really, really do. Hey, SoCal says, Jordan, you found the right channel. Been here for years. Love it. Shout out that Brad gang. What? So that's, I guess, our official welcome of Jordan to the SDS. If you aren't familiar with the SDS, we are the Sourdough Squad, aka Bread Gang. Oh, I appreciate you, Jesse. Shout out wifey, by the way. Bro, people loving the hat. This hat is honestly one of the dopest hats I got. And shout out to my guy, Tommy Nello, dude. He designed this thing. 49ers for sale, bro. Designed this thing. Almost to 100K. Right? Right? Dude, we're almost to 100K. That's wild to me. That's wild. Shout out to all you guys. Hey, no problem. No problem. One of our OG regulars is a Detroit Lions fan. So, no problems. Come on, we welcome all. We welcome all. And don't worry, Jordan. We're also we're really close away from draft coverage. So if you like the draft, um, hey, we might be breaking it down from a 49ers perspective of prospects, but you can take that same information and you can plug it into the Bengals. So if you like the draft, stick around. We got Justin, head of the Sourdough Scouts, putting in overtime. He's already got like 4 or 5 draft crushes. That like he's already feeding me. See, he's already feeding me prospects like crazy. And again, everyone he feeds me, I'm like, yep, I see it. I see it. Justin, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you fed me a prospect where I'm like, nah. I think you showed me Sidney Brown. While I like Sidney Brown, I was like, I don't necessarily see his fit for our defense, but I see why you like him. He's really good. He plays in the box. He's physical. I like him. I maybe don't love him for the Niners, but I still like him. I don't know if there's any prospect that Justin has been like, Brad, check this guy out. That I've been like, nah. I don't, and I'm 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 kind of a stickler when it comes to like my draft stuff. So it's like for me, that's why he's had us sourdough scouts, man. Like I'm not sure there will be a day where I'm like Justin. That guy's not it. So if you like draft stuff, stick around. We'll have you covered there. Um, so, but man, it's a wild year, fun year, crazy year, hectic year, busy year, and we get a time for reflection a little bit. That's kind of what's cool about this season. And right now is this week, we're just kind of in cruise control, right? We're in cruise control. We're just cruising along through this week, playoff football, watch the wild card, figure out who we're playing, and then we're locked in. We're locked in. So I'm hyped for it, man. I'm absolutely hyped for it. I'm gonna be heavy on O line this year for sure. I'm heavy on O line most every year. The 49ers just don't listen to me, which is fine. Which is fine. But O line for sure. O line for sure. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? You guys want to drop into the chat? But I am, man, I'm still staying focused on Niner content, but the draft juices are flowing. They're bubbling up internally. I'm trying to keep them at bay, but so we'll see. We shall see. I'm not ready. I'm not ready, Jordan. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for Super Bowl predictions. I'm not ready. Typically we do predictions and stuff like that. For me, I'm going to go the Brock Purdy route. And I'm going to say we're taking it one day at a time, one game at a time, one play at a time. That is literally my mentality into this. I'm waiting to figure out who we're playing in the divisional, and that's all my focus is at. That when we get through the divisional, my only focus is NFC Championship game. And that's how I'm rolling. I don't want to look too far ahead. I'm going to pull the cop out move. I don't want to look too far ahead. So we'll see how it goes. I still need to watch him. The highlights that you showed me, he looks really good. Of course, you know me when it comes to O-line. I need lots of examples. I need to see, but he looks good so far. Have I hit on any sleeper picks yet? I've hit on a couple. I hit on a couple. I don't think we hit on ours last week. I know we hit on the Gibby touchdown per Justin. But I don't think we hit on the other ones. Did any of you guys play the Penix pick? Yeah, we didn't get the Josh Allen touchdown. Rushing touchdown. Darn it. But man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a lot of fun playing sleeper. I don't know about you guys. I'm having a lot of fun playing the sleeper. It is fun. Like and you can like run multiple slips. So I'm like tinkering away. Like, ooh, let's try this out. Let's do this. I'm probably even. I'm about even right now. I'm about even. So I don't have any grandiose winners. I've definitely had some losses while figuring it out, but I'm around even. So that's I would say pretty good. I would say what if you're up 1%, when it comes to betting, like that's a profit. So you're doing good. Wagering, 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 all that good stuff. Um, hey, let's go. Shout out to all the new subs. Steve says, old school fan, back to the 70s, new fan of the show, loving the content. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. And I guess that might be time for a natural plug. If you guys do want to get in on this sleeper action and you haven't played yet, we got the divisional round coming up. So you guys already know what to do. All you got to do is plug in that little code SF Niners, and whatever your first deposit is, Sleeper will match all the way up to 500. So if y'all want to get crazy and have some fun, if you throw in 500, they will throw you back 500 into your account, and you have 1,000 to go crazy with. So if you want to get in, I'm enjoying. I think I'm enjoying Sleeper a little bit too much because this is honestly my first year playing DFS, the DFS wagering, and boy, it's it's really fun. It makes the most meaningless games, the most irrelevant players that you don't really care about, very you become very invested. You become very invested in Jahmyr Gibbs passing touchdown or reception touchdown through the air. You find yourself rooting for the wildest things. We're already football nerds, right? So it just makes it more fun. Gives another rooting element. Hey, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's fun. It's be careful. Be careful. Be careful. It's a little too much fun. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, if you want to take advantage of getting your first, it's only first deposit. So the first time you put it in, they match. So it's fun. It's very fun. It's very fun. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Glad we remixed it. You know me, when updates start flying and I start multitasking, boy, boy, um, it gets a little crazy. Uh, hey, enjoy responsibly. Enjoy responsibly. Disclaimer: you might have too much fun. That's our disclaimer. Yeah, we should have state of the franchise. I got to connect with Aponte. Tomorrow's looks like it's going to be a busy day. Um, I'll be going on the radio at like around 7 tomorrow night. I also looks like I might go on Cron 4 tomorrow night or sometime tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be busy. Cron 4 appearance, um, radio appearance, and a Jason Ponte appearance. For the radio appearance, I think I'll be able to stream it direct to the channel, so you would be able to see it if you wanted to watch that. So I'll figure it out. I gotta hit up Aponte, see what we're cooking on. But appreciate all you guys. Again, been a fun year. We're not done yet. Got more to do. Appreciate you all. I'm out of here for now. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see you.